Darling Downs, this part of the world, has a very proud reputation of embracing a host of different and diverse cultures from all across the world. We have around about 10,500 people who live here who speak a language other than English at home, and 8,700 people are living here who were born overseas. Toowoomba is a designated regional refugee settlement area and zone with a growing number of Kurdish Kurmanji speaking community and a fantastic and very diverse multicultural population. But now you might have heard last weekend saw the official launch of the Darling Downs African Communities Council. What is this group all about? How was it formed? Why was it formed? And what do its instigators want it to achieve? Well, all interesting questions. Let's find out a little bit more. Monica Argoth is president of the Darling Downs African Communities Council, and Sofa Edriss is the council's public relations officer, and they both join me in the studio for a chat. Ladies, welcome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Firstly, Monica, I have to say congratulations on the creation of the Darling Downs African Communities Council, but how did this start? Why was this council needed in this community?
So the council started, I believe the process started 2 years ago, and there's been a lot of work to it. And the reason why the Darling Downs African Communities Council is needed is because Darling Downs has so many Africans living here from different countries. And the main aim of it was to actually unite all the Africans under one umbrella, and just to make it easier for our community members to receive any services that they need. So that was the first aim, is just to unite everyone so we could all work together.
Because it's interesting when you talk about the different African communities, people might be surprised that on the continent of Africa, it's made up of thousands of different ethnicities. How many are actually represented here in the Darling Downs? How many different African groups are there?
So at the moment we represent 11 different groups, but that does not mean that we've got other countries that we're willing to represent as soon as we are formed and moving forward. So at this stage when we started, we identified 11 different nationalities.
That's a hell of an achievement to bring all of them together, because I would imagine all of those groups would be proudly individual and would come with their own thoughts on what they want out of this group. Was it a challenge to bring them all together?
I think yes, and sometimes no, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's a challenge in the beginning, but I think all of them have the same goal, or they was dreaming about united and being presented as a united. So I think that was the first thing I noticed in the first meeting we had. And all of them would like to represent as being African, sometimes helping their community. So that's what I saw. The challenge was, yes, how you can make 11 nationalities come together to be under the same umbrella. But sometimes we saw the passion that for each one of them that they would like to be represented as an African. So
yep, and they could see the value of having that representation.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's not suggesting that they were all at war with each other or anything like that beforehand, but they were just living distinct backgrounds, living their distinct lives, I suppose.
Yeah, so, and that's true. So a lot of us, let's say, for example, when we first came, South Sudanese lived within their own communities. We had the Congolese, the Rwandan, Ethiopians, Eritreans, and everyone was doing their own thing within their own communities. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because they understand each other. But Darling Downs' aim was to actually bring everyone together as an African continent, and just to be an advocate, because coming from a different background, there are so many challenges that we face, and Darling Down is also an advocate for so many communities, so many families. If they need help with any services, or if they are met with different challenges, that's when we came in, and just to give that extra support that is needed. Yeah.
And also we learn from each other. Like each community have their own challenge that they go through and a lot of achievements. So it's nice also for each of this country to help each other, and each community can support the other. So it's kind of
Yeah. So it's not just supporting the council as such, but
support each other.
The interplay between those different ethnicities, those different groups.
Correct.
That's great. No, you've created something fantastic. Some might perceive the creation of this council as meaning that organisations organisations that are already in place to represent different cultures and different ethnicities living in Toowoomba and the Darling Downs, organisations like TRAMS and Multicultural Australia and a host of others, they might see this as a sign that those organisations haven't done their job properly. Is that the case? Or?
That is not the case at all. All those organisations, so TRAMS, Multicultural Australia, they've done a fantastic job. And when we created Darling Downs African Communities Council, so our aim was to also work as a bridge between the different organisations to provide services to our community members. So sometimes if an individual comes and they don't know how to access a certain service, that's when we go and talk to those organisations and we find a way to provide the services and communicate with the members as well. So they're doing a fantastic job, but our aim is to work with them so we can reach out to as many people who need their services.
The council has been in place for 8 months, so the Saturday night was really the formality of officially launching it. But what do you want to achieve, say, in the next 12 months for the council? What are your goals?
So the next 12 months, we would like to be well recognised as an organisation and also find ways to help different members within the community. So in our group, or Darling Downs, we have different groups that we represent. We've got the youth, we've got the women, seniors, also men as well. And we would like to have services or activities that will engage them. And I think at the end of the day, Darling Downs African Communities Council would like to be involved in the community as well. We want to be part of the Darling Downs region. A lot of us have been here more than 20 years, but we want to be recognised as living here as well. And a lot of us call Darling Downs home. And since we have our kids here, this is going to be their home for the next years to come through. So we want to have a foundation, a safe place for them, and a place of being recognised as well.
It's interesting, a question without notice. We're about to begin a local government campaign, council elections. Would it be in your vision to have a member of the African community be on Toowoomba Regional Council?
We would love to. Why not?
We're not saying no, but maybe in the future we've got young people who are willing to, and it would be a really great
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
You're probably thinking, baby steps. We've got our own council first. Let's just pull it back a little bit. You've already had some successes, though. You've managed to find employment for 10 people. I'm reading here in the 8 months that the council has been formed. Was that a challenging process?
It wasn't challenging because I think when we formed, we had so many stakeholders willing to work with us, and I think we formed networking, like we've got really strong networking connections. And helping people with employment, it was just a bit hard because of maybe there was language barrier or trying to access the right employment. So we've had some great support from stakeholders to actually help and point us to the right directions.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Yeah.
Finally, you're looking for a space. You don't want to just operate on the phone or out of your front living room or wherever. A space that the council can create as a go-to area for people to be able to access what you're offering. Any luck on that so far? Or?
I mean, not yet, but we hope that's one of our goals for this year, to find a place that we can make it home for everyone, that they come and get help there. So
some people offered, so we now need to sit down and look at the funding as well. And having a community space would mean that, as Safa mentioned, bringing all the communities together, at least they will know where to locate us. So at the moment we're working from home. And another big thing as well is giving the youth a place that they can go and
do some activities.
hang out, do some activities. Young kids want to, because at the launch we had kids practice, so dance practices.
Oh, okay.
So it would be really good to have a location where we can still teach our children about their culture, where they can come together, where they can learn the language as well. So a community centre would just mean a lot for the community as well, and us to also unite all the African members here.
Support and service from there.
That'd be brilliant. I wish you both the best of luck. It's been such a pleasure having a chat to you. Love to stay in touch. So if there's anything that we can help with in terms of getting your message out or anything you're putting on, then I'll give you my card. Please stay in touch. But it's been really great having a chat to you.
No worries.
Thank you so much
very
for having
much
us.
for your time.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks, David.